So I do wonder how he does his hair and why, but I mean the robot does look pretty cool. But why is the hair? Its Trustmaster reward is a materia that boosts attack by a flat 500 and gives a 100% double killer against machines. It's an excellent Trustmaster reward, though can only be equipped onto units from Xenogears. His Super Trustmaster reward is his clothes. It boosts attack and has a passive called Grahf. Yeah, I'm sure there's a story. Anyways, there's a limit burst regen and a boost to the limit burst gauge fill rate. Onto his active abilities. Infernal Destruction deals fire damage, lowers the enemy's fire resistance by 120%, and chains of Absolute Mirror of Equity. Regen lowers the enemy's defense by 80%, and then deals a single strong blow that partially ignores the enemy's defense. And he literally has 2 moves. Cool. Onto his passives. With his Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, it gains more attack, a large boost to his limit burst damage, and a small boost to his limit burst gauge fill rate. The man deals increased damage to machines and plants, and has a pretty strong boost to his innate limit burst damage and limit burst regen. Interestingly, at EX plus 1, the man will get an instant limit burst if his limit burst gauge is at max level. At EX plus 3, he'll get 500 attack. At the start of each turn, he'll automatically shout, "You've come to die, eh?" Which, on the next turn, will activate "You've come to die, eh?" Which permanently raises the damage modifier of his physical attacks. And then on the turn after that, it'll do the same thing but stronger. He'll say the same line 2 more times after that, which is pretty cool, if not kind of goofy. He prefers to carry 2 weapons in this form, and he can hold a fist for bonus stats, though your mileage may vary for this one. His normal attack is changed to Propagator of Hatred, which deals fire damage and fills his limit burst gauge by a small amount. Let's look at his limit burst. It lowers the enemy's fire resistance by 120%, raises his limit burst damage by 100%, then deals strong fire damage. Time to change forms. Its Brave Shift has a 4-turn duration and a 4-turn cooldown. It also summons a really cool robot. It's a shame it won't stick around for long. Onto his active abilities. Flaming Hell is Infernal Destruction but weaker, but it hits multiple enemies. Thor Wave is also weaker than Infernal Destruction, but it is lightning damage, so I guess that's another option. At EX plus 2, it will unlock Hyper Mode, which raises the damage modifier of his limit burst, raises his attack by 300%, and raises his fire damage by 30%. Passives. There's a few small differences here that really set it apart. First is the Brave ability Omega 100, which boosts his attack, limit burst damage, and most notably, gives him a bonus stat boost when he's carrying any weapons. This stat boost is added separately, thus ignoring the standard cap, which allows id to reach incredibly high attack stats like nobody's business. However, given that he won't be holding anything, his chain limit cap boost has dropped by half, but the robot suit does make him more bulky. It's not an incredible trade-off though. Let's look at his limit burst. It lowers the enemy's fire resistance by 130%, raises his limit burst damage by 150%, then deals incredible levels of fire damage. Let's rank Brave abilities. I'd prioritize Omega 100 for the passives, then Infernal Destruction and Flaming Hell because they aren't as special. Time to make a damage rotation. On turn 1, triple cast Infernal Destruction. Keep doing so until he said the same line 4 more times. On turn 6, activate his Brave Shift and use his limit burst. From there on, switch to Flaming Hell, but make sure to prioritize his Brave Shift's limit burst above all else. Obviously, if you have EX plus 2, make sure to switch forms earlier to use Hyper Mode before his limit burst, as it massively raises his damage output. While we're on the point of hypotheticals, you can also cat with Raijin if you're able to imbue id with fire. So, EX2? Yes. EX plus 2 makes such a big difference. The damage modifier buff is really the most impressive part, as the other buffs admittedly can be found on other support units. As for EX plus 3, that's 500 attack, and that's a bit of a stretch. So how good is id? Well, he's strong, for his price. And while that's ordinarily really good, he's also paired with someone who just blows him out of the water. To put things into perspective, id is the natural follow-up to premium units, sold later at a lower price, but around the same strength, while Grahf is a premium unit. Except they forgot to raise his price. It doesn't help that id is practically locked into fire. His natural equipment selection is also a bit tight, but then just wait till you see his robot suit. But thanks to the natural powers of the robot suit, he doesn't really need to wear anything, and you can just adjust the accessory and materia slots for indestructible light and killers. Overall, id is a great fire damage dealer, but he's also paired with Grahf. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you got id. He's cool and all, but he's also paired with Grahf, who makes sure to cover his hair if he even has any. That mystery is so alluring. But Ed's robot is pretty cool too.